Morning boys and girls, and a very warm welcome to my channel. Today we're following my trip through the Black Country to Tamworth services just north of Birmingham. Starting off the ride this time was stressful because I kept forgetting things. Tom from 1903 Productions posted that if you can remember your childhood phone number but not the password you set yesterday, you're his people. Sigh. My first telephone number was Littlewick Green 2633. The number plate of my first moped was HCF 515W. But did I remember to phone the shop about the blinds yesterday? Well, guess. Last week wasn't such a good week as Anna had a lot of pain and several nights of disturbed sleep. My own struggles to manage potential bouts of depression become harder when Anna's not doing so well, obviously. This makes producing videos very taxing, vexing sometimes. But, as has been said many times in various posts recently, riding is therapy and remains a hugely beneficial thing to managing my own mental health. So once I trundle down the hill and through the winding lanes to the main road, I start to feel more relaxed. Sometimes I have to make a specific effort to focus on my surroundings and allow the feelings from outside to register. The cold air on my face, the sounds, the open fields and the endless sky. All of this takes my thoughts away from the stuff of life and I become just a motorcycle rider. Perfect. I remember reading somewhere about the difference between a biker and someone who just rides a motorcycle. The latter will get on their bike and choose a destination. A biker chooses a direction. For me, the direction is often dictated by the weather, but sometimes, like April 2021 in the UK, nearly every day is dry, although very cold. Usually I go the way I didn't go last time. This means I don't really have to think about it until passing through Bridgwater or Taunton, as there are 4 motorway junctions to choose from. Today I decide to go north via junction 23 of the M5. It is still locked down in the UK, so a pleasant pause at Ryder's Harley-Davidson in Bridgwater serves no purpose other than a hot coffee and a camera adjustment. And unfortunately, I can't find anywhere to pee, not even behind the cargo container. Suitably refreshed, if not relieved, I head out again through Bridgwater and onto the M5. At various points when out riding, I find myself grinning like a schoolboy. I make a point to acknowledge and prolong these grins as apparently there are endorphins and stuff, which are really good for mental health. Unfortunately, the average UK personage tends to quash feelings of any sort because we're so flaming British. We fear it's a weakness to have feelings at all, let alone show them in public. Perish the thought! However, noticing a happy smile, broadening it and spinning it out makes for a very healthy thing to do psychologically. Plus, it actually forces me to think of exactly why I'm happy at that specific moment. It's the riding that leaves me feeling happy, and I've got hundreds of miles of it still to do. I'm talking Sir Miling here. On the motorway is where I feel free. I love the sensations caused by the bike pushing through the wind and the sound of the wind on my visor, and even the feeling of my jeans flapping about. It's interesting to think about the stuff going on in my life at these happy times, because just feeling and acknowledging my own happiness puts a very different slant on things. For instance, making YouTube videos is hugely demanding, and I have to help provide content for Anna and me. It's a lot of work. Thinking in terms of my own mental health, it's easy to recognise that I could get dangerously disheartened quite often. I also note that I quite like making videos for me and Anna, but the whole process becomes too demanding too often. So how do I think about this when I'm happy? In this case, I recognise that videoing is generally positive in terms of my mental health, but there are powerful negatives involved too. I quickly notice that many of these are associated with Facebook. I always hated Facebook, but popular wisdom clearly indicates that Facebook is an evil necessity in regard to promoting an online business. So even while maintaining my Facebook account, I've left all the Facebook groups and follow only the official Harley group. I don't contribute to anything on Facebook now except to my own business page. This decision has removed a huge proportion of the negative aspects, but of course there will be a corresponding cost in terms of promotion, less of it. But trading success at work for personal health is a fundamental principle for us. After a couple of blissful hours, I've reached the M5-M42 junction near Bromsgrove. The M42 forms a half ring road around the south and east of Birmingham. The M5 covers the west and the M6 the north. Now, a quick shout out to Scrum here, because if you look carefully in the background, the black Mercedes, waving from the back seat, yes, it's Tony Iommi. I'm almost sure that's who it was. Small world, huh, Scrum? After riding the southern M42, the motorway turns north and I cross the delightfully named Cutthroat Lane. In 15 or 20 minutes, I pass the giant National Exhibition Centre, which is where the wonderful bike show is put on every non-COVID year. It's actually called Motorcycle Live these days, but to me, it'll always be the bike show. After an hour or so, I've reached the Tamworth services just a few miles from the end of the M42. Just getting on my bike and I need a chug. That's a nuisance, isn't it? I have to wait to Michael with services, I think. I stopped for a pasty kept warm in Anna's wide neck flask and buy some healthy chocolate and crisps. At the Cheveley services on the M4 recently, I was able to buy 8 Cadbury's cream eggs for £2. Result! And I'd eaten them all before I left the Sedgemoor services on the M5. Don't tell Anna. I always phone Anna in the morning and again at lunchtime. It's just nice to hear her voice and to make sure she's doing okay. More than once I've had to turn back home straight away, but Anna's doing fine today and frankly there's no need to tell her about any potential cream eggs. I've done about 170 miles, so Tamworth services will mark the turnaround point for today. I'm back on the M5 in a couple of hours, and soon I'll pull into the prettiest service station I ever visit in England, the Gloucester Services and Farm Shop. The sign on the door as you leave says, "See you directly." It's the only really nice service station I've ever been to. Not long afterwards, I reach one of the nicest parts of the M5, the split level section. Here, even with the weather is a bit ropey, the view over the Guadagno Valley is utterly wonderful. I did try to capture it, but the camera's on the wrong side of the bike and its battery is on the fritz. So let me freeze frame for a moment, and now I'll adjust the settings in Photoshop. I'll zoom out a bit, I can tweak the ambience and the gamma and I sort the lighting. Ah, that's better. Anna keeps telling me that it's pronounced Cordano, but then it's not her video, is it? Guadagno is an important landmark for me because it symbolises the boundary between away from home and home ground, so to speak. Somerset is now close by, which has been my home for nearly 40 years. So even when the weather is soaking my jeans, it's still a wonderful ride. My 2016 Sportster is a joy, even with the many foibles. See the My Bike and Me playlist for those. And please subscribe to my channel and link the videos in your own blogs and posts while liking them too. Pretty please. I'll end this video as I head towards Weston-super-Mare, which isn't Somerset at all nowadays, it's North Somerset, but it still feels like home to me. Plus, Anna's at home, and home is always wherever Anna is. Cheerio. See you next time.